What's up YouTube? It's X, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you guys some things that you might not have known about Ninja Warrior. Obviously, if you really keep up with this show, then you probably know these things, but this video is more for the people that have just seen this show for the first time or have not seen it in a while and just kind of want to know some behind the scenes stuff about it. I'm going to tell you guys some things that you guys might not have known about the show, or some things that you won't know from the show just by watching it. So the first thing is that the show is filmed overnight. Right? We start filming at about 8 and then we stop filming at about 5 in the morning. I mean, obviously if you watch a show, you see it's usually at nighttime, but yeah, we film through the night, which also means that you can run the course anytime from from 8 o'clock to 5 in the morning. I ran the course at 10, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, and even at 4 in the morning. We got to set that day at 4 p.m. and I didn't run until 4:30 in the morning. I was on set for 12 hours before I even ran the course. So yeah, that's fact number one. Show's filmed overnight. You can run anytime from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. And if you're running a lot later, it's usually a very long night. So one of the most asked questions is, do you get to try the obstacle before you run the course? And the answer to that question is no. When you guys see us running the course on the show, that's the first time we get to try any of those obstacles. But there have been times in the show where we got to try an obstacle before we ran the course. And the times where we did get to try an obstacle on the show, it was for one of two reasons. One, the producer just thought the obstacle was insanely hard. Or two, for safety reasons. They wanted to make sure everybody was comfortable with the obstacle already before they competed, because there was a really bad injury a few years ago and they didn't want it to happen again. Or maybe I just don't know why they let people try some obstacles, but it only ever happens in the finals. There was one obstacle where I was hearing that it was just insanely hard at first, so they let everybody try it. But to be fair, that was the last obstacle and the hardest course on the show, so it makes sense why they did let everybody try it. I guess the obstacle just wasn't as hard as the producers thought it was. For the most part, we don't get to try the obstacles at all before we run. Me personally, I've only tried one obstacle before I ran the course. If I'm being completely honest, it did not help at all. When I did it the first time, I was honestly so much more nervous than when I did it the second time, which I know it probably makes no sense. We got to set, and then immediately the first thing we did was get to try this obstacle. It really did not make anything better. I took a million swings on it. I did not feel comfortable on it at all, but during my run, it felt perfectly fine. But yeah, there's your answer. Except for very, very rare occasions, we don't get to try the obstacles. And when you guys see us running the course on the show, that's the first time we're trying anything. All right, the next one is about the backstories. So sometimes when athletes walk up to the starting line, they'll get a backstory. And basically the easiest way to tell is if the backstory is just the cleanest camera quality ever, then that backstory was filmed months after filming. So I've gotten 3 backstory shoots from the show in my 4 years of competing, which is kind of crazy, but it's always a lot of fun. It's always a really fun day. And the funniest thing about the backstories is you're literally filming all day, but they only use 30 to 45 seconds of it most of the time. It's still really cool. My first season's backstory was about me taking the train everywhere. When I was 16, I used to be on the train 8 hours a day. 2 hours going to school, 2 hours coming back, and then 2 hours to the gym and 2 hours coming back. So that's basically what my story was about on the first season. Second season, my backstory was about me and this guy that I raced on the show that happened to be one of the most popular athletes on the show. And then my third season, the season that's coming up, my story was all about me helping this kid that always wanted to get on the show, finally get on the show, and about making his dream come true. But yeah, backstories are usually filmed a couple months after filming is all said and done, and it's usually a lot of fun. I'll actually put in some clips right now of the backstory filming from last season.
I was doing the same thing when I was younger. Just watching the show, acting like we were on the show, not really on the show, and now we're on the show.
Yeah.
So, really excited?
Super excited.
Ready to fall in that water? It's cold.
No.
so cool.
Alright, so backing what I said with the backstory thing, the show is not live at all. So the first couple seasons I competed, the show filmed like in March and then it aired that same summer. But these last 2 years, this wait has been insane. So season 16, we filmed that season in March and it didn't air until summer of 2024. So like we filmed that season in March of 23 and it didn't air for a whole like year and a half. And the season that's happening right now, we filmed this back in September and it's just coming out. And then next season, season 18, we're starting filming for that in September, and that season's not coming out until next summer as well. And so it's a very long wait from filming to when the show actually airs. The show is not live at all. But to be fair, like the show would be very, very boring to watch live just because obviously one, it's overnight, and two, it's like 8 hours long. So they just cut it up and you get to see the 2-hour version on TV. Also, like the one really funny thing about the show is in person, I don't know if it's just me, but in person, the show is quiet. Like it's really quiet. Even when we have the audience, like it's oddly quiet. People honestly only cheer when they're really supposed to cheer. And that's pretty much it. Like when you're at the show, it's not really like a really lively environment. Like you get to the show and everyone's just about business. Like even like when you're in the audience, like most people in the audience are just like pretty quiet and everyone's just kind of locked in on whoever's running. So like in person, it is really quiet most of the time. The last fact for you guys is that the beeps that you hear on the show are actually edited in post-production. But in person, you have 2 cues. The first cue is when you see a giant camera like going over the course. I don't recall seeing it last season, but I remember my first 2 seasons when the camera went over the course. That was like your 10-second warning, and then there would be a producer on the side. The producer would literally be right next to the course. The producer would be like at the end of the first obstacle. Say this is the start of the first obstacle and this is the end of the first obstacle. The producer is literally right here, and the producer will give you a 3, 2, 1, go, and that's your cue to go. But you don't have to go when they tell you to go. Like after they say go, you can take a second, you can breathe, but your time doesn't actually start until you cross a laser right before the first obstacle. So you can pretty much go whenever you please, but obviously if you're gonna be up there for way too long after they say go, then they're just gonna tell you, hey, you gotta go, you gotta get out of here. So there are some things that you may or may not have known about Ninja Warrior. I know like obviously the diehard fans know this stuff already, but this video is more just for the people that are probably just watching the show for the first time, or just like have seen it a couple years ago and would be interested to know some behind the scenes stuff about it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll catch y'all in the next one.